You're telling women that they leave their family for their happiness.
The fact of the matter is that it's getting harder and harder.
When I decided to be single and leave,
The thing I see men say a lot, right? They say women.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll take a look at how divorced women blame men even though they're the ones filing for 80% of divorces, and how one lawyer is against getting rid of alimony. We want you to smash that like button. Let's make this new year the one where we hit 200,000 subscribers. Don't forget to leave a comment. It helps wake more men up. And without further ado, let's get started.
You're telling women that they leave their family for their happiness. Do you realize we don't want to break up our families? Do you realize the amount of pain that it causes us to actually get to this decision? Do you realize the back and forth that us women carry? It's not like we wake up one day and say, hey, we're going to go file for divorce. It is weeks, months, years and years of the man not listening. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, we got to love ourselves. We have to show our children right from wrong. We have to show our children that this is not a healthy relationship. I'm tired of men thinking like women just go and they run away. That's not how it is. I would not be in this position if my ex-husband would have done what he was supposed to do, to be an equal participant in our marriage, but he chose not to. And those come with natural consequences. And that meant our family was no longer together under one roof. Are we still a family? Yes. We will always hold that foundation. But let me tell you something. I did not break that family apart for my own happiness. I did not. Trust me. I did it because it needed to be done.
You know why marriages used to last for decades? The focus was on family first, not on personal happiness, inflated by social media. Ever since no-fault divorce and the rise of comparison culture on TikTok, breakups have skyrocketed. Women are constantly dissatisfied, always looking at other people's perfect lives while ignoring the stable one they already have. Daily life is monotonous for everyone. Work, home, sleep. But many women see it as unpaid labor that only they carry, thinking they're sacrificing more. They forget that the man puts in overtime, risks his health, and grinds at work to provide comforts she couldn't afford on her own. Need proof? According to a UCLA study, 46% of people living in their vehicles are women. So much for independence, right? Men's sacrifices aren't appreciated, and that's why a man sacrifices his health for his family, while a woman sacrifices her family for her happiness.
Women.
The fact of the matter is that it's getting harder and harder to get alimony. You see states like Florida taking away permanent alimony. You see states like Georgia where it's nearly impossible just to get some type of alimony. And this is why I cannot stress this enough, why you need to build your case with evidence when it comes to asking for alimony. You want to present cash flow scenarios that show what's going to happen with your money over time if you don't get alimony, and that you run out of money if you don't get that alimony. This is also why it's important that your need, the budget you put down in your financial affidavit, is appropriate and really showing your true need. Without enough need, you will never get the alimony that you want to get. One of the biggest contention points in divorce cases is alimony. And this is why I'm helping my clients get more alimony than originally proposed by using evidence and cash flow scenarios. If you need help with this, then make sure to go to the link in my bio and schedule a call with me.
Here she is, one of the horsewomen of the apocalypse. Lawyers who make a living off destroying marriages and bleeding men dry. Alimony has screwed over millions. It wrecks lives, health, and generational wealth that families spent decades building. Over 50 years ago, it made sense, back when women had no labor rights. Today, it's pure slavery. Why should an ex be financially supported for life if she's no longer with you? Month after month, it forces men to work themselves to death. If his income goes up, so does her check. If he stops, they label him a voluntarily unemployed deadbeat. Better return than stocks or real estate. You become her eternal rental property. That's why so many men say screw this. They give up overtime, cut income, or blow everything up before handing over another cent to their ex. And I get it 100%, brothers. Better to lose it all than enrich the woman who hates you and destroyed your family.
When I decided to be single and leave my husband and never look back and go do my own thing, I was really scared at first. It was really hard at first. Felt like I was breaking at first. I stuck with it. I worked really hard. I picked up a second job. My small business grew. My relationship with my kids grew stronger. My relationship with myself grew stronger. I felt mentally stable again. I started to love myself even more. I stopped self-sabotaging. I stopped trying to fit myself into a tiny little box to make my husband and other people in my life happy. I stopped asking other people for advice, and I started relying on myself for the information that I needed at the time, or I would go research it myself and make my own decisions. I became sovereign. I gained my autonomy, my full autonomy back. It was hard. Being a single mom is hard. It can be pretty lonely at times, but what's even more lonely is being with someone who promised you love that gave you the opposite and made your life harder, and questioning yourself every day. Being lonely in a marriage is 10 times harder than being single lonely. And when I get lonely, I pour back into myself. I pour into my small business. I pour into my children. I pick up a new hobby. I buy another book on Audible. I write poems. Food for thought, ladies. I don't plan on being married or being in a relationship probably for the rest of my life. I have woken up, to the reality of what marriage really is for a woman and how it does absolutely nothing for women. I have my kids. I love being a mother. I can handle the rest of this fucking shit myself. And I have never been happier. Okay, love you, bye.
Brothers, that woman looks happier than ever. Yet you can see how miserable she really is just from the video. What cracks me up the most is that she wanted that freedom. She wanted to get rid of the man. She didn't want to take care of him or have anything to do with him. But after the breakup, they're the ones mad, making hate videos about their ex, ranting about how awful he was, how unhappy they were, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, the ex-husband starts doing better, sometimes even remarries, and she's stuck filled with bitterness. That's when you realize the husband wasn't the problem in the relationship, it was her. She was the one self-sabotaging, the one always mad, the one turning everything into a problem. So props to that man for not falling for it. Proof that the nose ring theory still holds up.
The thing I see men say a lot, right? They say women initiate divorces more. But the reason a lot of women are initiating divorce is because men don't like to break up with women.
Yeah, they're not gonna leave.
So of course, if you're not happy in the situation and it's not improving, she's going to initiate the divorce, because a man will go and get a whole nother girlfriend while he has a wife because he's not gonna leave.
Wendy Williams.
Yeah. So like when men be like, oh, women who initiate divorces more, it's because you will drag this woman along for the next 20 years and not get a divorce because they just don't want to do that. And men are considerate to a certain degree where they don't want to hurt your feelings, so they gonna do, but sometimes men will do things to push you away, so you be like, you know, this not working, because they don't want to have to be the ones to break up with you. So I don't think it's really fair to be like, well, women initiate 90% of the divorce. divorces, but it's like you've been left the relationship. I'm just doing the formal work.
Now that is true. A man will leave the relationship and be miserable in the house. He will be miserable in the house for years, but in his mind he has a set time when he's going to leave or when he's going to be done or what he's going to do, and he may or may not do it. But he never just will say, hardly ever, if things are bad in the house, does he just, this ain't working, and I'm leaving.
Unless he found another chick and she don't care that he married. She like, you could come stay with me. Then he may be like,
it happens, but it doesn't happen often on a scale to where there's even a percentage to talk about. He's staying in it. It's too much. You know, it's too much of a challenge to do. That's how you're gonna see it. Because 9 times out of 10, she's not gonna make it easy for him.
See, women, when they get divorced, they want to move on. They want to, like, it's probably somebody else waiting in the wings. When men divorce, they just want their peace. They just want their peace. But they ain't trying to get into nothing new no more.
They already had it. It ain't new.
Like,
that's why.
I'm just saying.
But they don't initiate it.
Divorce for their peace.
That's true.
That's why more men should initiate it, because a lot of times, like we said, men will be unhappy in a relationship and don't say nothing because they're waiting for the woman to finally be like, this ain't working for me. Then he got that to be like, well, I ain't the one who left. You the one who left. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause
A man doesn't ask for divorce simply because most of the problems in the relationship are caused more by the woman than by the man himself. Most of the time, it's the woman who's constantly dissatisfied. A man might feel the same, but he tries to reason with it, tells himself, "My woman is good. Let me see how I can fix this." Women don't think rationally. They're emotional. They're neurotic. Once they get something in their head, they don't change their mind easily. A man is happy with little, but more importantly, he doesn't like to run from responsibility. A man doesn't want to leave his kids, doesn't want to walk away from what he's built. That's why he stays, even if he feels empty, even if his health declines, even if he has to listen every day to why he's supposedly the cause of all her problems, even while taking constant verbal abuse. That's why, when we walk away, we're looking for peace. We don't want another relationship that robs us of that peace. Because for the first time in a long time, we come home to silence, without someone throwing all their bitterness and dissatisfaction at us and blaming us for it.
I recently did a video where I mentioned bridge the gap alimony, and I want to talk a little further about it. There are many types of alimony in Florida. Bridge the gap is just one of the options of alimony. There's bridge the gap, there's rehabilitative, there's temporary, there's durational. In the state of Florida, the number one question that is asked before determining an alimony award is there a need on the behalf of one spouse, and does the other spouse have the ability to pay? If the answer is yes, then we move on to how much alimony and what type of alimony. Durational alimony in Florida requires a marriage of at least 3 years. Rehabilitative, bridge the gap, and temporary have no limit on the amount of years that you have to be married in order to qualify. The biggest thing is need and ability to pay. For example, an award of rehabilitative alimony may be really good for somebody who has a degree or a license that has expired. Let's say somebody is a nurse and their certificate or their license has expired. They need to go back to school. They need to complete some courses, some classes in order to re-up their license. But then once the license is re-upped, they will be able to earn substantially more money. An award of rehabilitative alimony allows for that period of time while the person is re-upping their license in school, applying for jobs, things like that. So maybe a rehabilitative alimony award is best in that scenario. Maybe an award of bridge the gap alimony is best in a scenario of a short-term marriage. Maybe the people were together for a really long time, but they were only actually married for a short period of time, and the needy spouse needs some financial assistance to go from a married person to a single person. That may be a good reason to have a bridge the gap alimony award.
You want to know who's wrecking the family? How about the husband who was never taught how to regulate his emotions? So he goes around acting like a crazy wild banshee when he's upset, and he doesn't know how to control himself. And it isn't a safe environment for the children to be in. No, we're not going to blame him. Or what about the man who goes off to work each day, and that's it? He doesn't know his children. He doesn't help his wife. All he's there for is to bring home the bacon. But he's not a partner, and he's not a father. And that's what the woman married, right? And if she's not getting that, she needs to get a divorce. The men who are emotionally or physically abusive, you don't want to blame them for wrecking the family? What about the men that are cheating on their wives, especially while they're pregnant? Or the great slew of men that are coming up now that just don't want to work, don't want to do housework, don't want to do anything except be catered to because they're a man. They're the problem.
Mark my words, brothers, you will never make a woman happy if she isn't happy with herself. If she's carrying emptiness inside, she'll spread that unhappiness to you until it drains you completely. Women like this are living proof. No man, no matter how perfect, will ever be enough for them. A good father and husband? Boring. A good man? Good dad, but bad husband. A stable relationship? Too routine. Don't make enough? You don't provide. Make too much. You're controlling me with money. Set boundaries. You're controlling. Damn, there's no winning with someone who's dissatisfied with her own life. What's worse is she never stops to think that maybe the man wanted more too, but he's out there doing the best he can just to make her happy. Steve Jobs once said that when you create something great like Apple, you have to sacrifice another life you might have wanted to live. What does that tell you? We all sacrifice something. The difference is a man does it without complaining. A woman complains even about cleaning her own house. Responsibility is kryptonite for women. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. Do you think women initiate most divorces out of need or emotional selfishness? Is it fair for a man to pay lifelong alimony to an ex who chose to break up the family? If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. Your support means a lot to us and keeps us motivated to keep creating more content. Stay tuned for the next video from the wall.